Well, it's me. I overthink shit. But anyway, a little while ago I was talking to you about the Bill of Rights. First of all, the Bill of Rights we need to understand is a list of what the government can and cannot do to us, the public. It's a line of demarcation. And we're all familiar with the First Amendment, the right to freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble, uh, free to petition the government, and freedom of religion. And we're all familiar with the Second Amendment because it's all the rage right now. And that is and I'm going to read it to you, a well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. Now, I know some are going to say, yeah, that was only included white males. Yeah, at the time it did, but our Constitution has been amended, and black people are now considered uh, part of that free state. But I got on here because I wanted to address a couple of other amendments, like the third. Let me read it to you. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Understand, folks, part of the National Defense Authorization Act means that they can come take your home just because they say there's this, that, and the other going on. COVID was a perfect example. They could have taken your home from you. Understand that. They could have forced you into a camp if you refused to be vaccinated. Understand that. Now let's look at the Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. As I said, this is a list of do's and don'ts for your government. It goes on to say, no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, let's think about it. You're riding down the street. You might be going 5 miles over the speed limit, and some person with a blue suit and a badge decides he wants to pull you over. A person who has been charged by the state, city, county to carry a firearm and use it if he feels he needs to. A person who has been charged by the state, county, or city to stop you and impede your travel because he feels he needs to. Here, let me go back and read this. No warrant shall be issued upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, there are huge stories on the internet about people who've been driving down the street, minding their own business, had a large sum of cash on them, legitimate cash, but the police stopped them because they were going a few miles over the speed limit, found the cash, and took it. Took the vehicles and all. And they had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to try and prove their innocence. Now, I say that because we have the Fifth Amendment. Let me read that to you. I don't know if many of you have ever heard it. I know you've heard of it, but have you ever heard it? Let me read it to you. No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crime. Now, let me break that down right off the bat. That could be anything from selling dope on the corner to kidnap, murder, rape, robbery. Okay? Unless on a pertinent, excuse me, unless on a presentment of indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Listen to what they're saying here, and understand that this is what's being twisted and turned in order to gain control over you. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against himself. What's the first thing the police want you to do? Talk to him. Your answer should be shit. No hablo inglés, ese. Or Nick Fustein, Herr Oberst. Yeah, I think the last one works because they're all a bunch of N-words. And I ain't talking about niggas. Nor shall he be compelled in criminal case to be witness against himself, nor deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken into public use without just compensation. Good Lord, that's a mouthful of shit right there, and a whole world full of should be litigation. And if you ask me, look at how people are being mistreated right now because somebody pulled you over and decided you were a bad guy. Because some TSA agent said, "Why have you got all this money with you, fella?" You know, or some blue person saying the same thing. "Well, I don't know why this colored guy or why this poor white trash fella has all this money. It just doesn't seem right. Why does he have a fucking gun? I just don't get it. Don't you trust us?" No, we don't. You're bureaucrats. And you're lackeys of bureaucrats. No, we don't trust you. Now, if we moved on to Amendment 6, let's just go there. I wasn't going to go there today, but let's just go there because it's relevant. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial, by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature of the cause of the accusation, to be confronted by the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel by his defense or for his defense. How much of that is violated right now today just because the police said, thought, or felt like? How much of that is violated today just because Congress or some politician thought, said, or felt like? How much of that is violated today just because some lobbyist, activist, so on and so forth, was able to purchase access to some bureaucrat or politician's ear? Am I cynical? Maybe a little bit. Here's one that most people are very unaware of, one of my favorites, and it's Amendment number 9. Now you have to listen to it carefully. It says, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. I'll let you figure that one out because I'm still chewing on it. And here's number 10, the most contentious of them all. It's what states like Colorado are violating or not violating, are using as designed right now. 10th Amendment. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So when the state of Illinois says, hey, dude, we're going to pass an assault weapons ban, and the people of the state say, fuck you, then the state gets nullified. The people have that choice. When the state of Colorado said, hey, we're going to legalize marijuana, the federal government understood we probably do need to back off. 10th Amendment, states' rights. They're not infringing upon another's human right. We can't say much about it. We don't like it, but it is what it is. So you guys can continue to understand. You guys can continue to stand under this lie of democracy, because this is not a democracy. It was never intended to be a democracy. It is a representative republic, which is why we have those first 10 amendments, which are lines that the government is not supposed to cross, do's and don'ts for the government, and the rest of the amendments are essentially the same. However, some of them and some of our tax code have been corrupted, and those corrupted tax codes and those corrupted ideas about the Constitution are what is in fact plaguing the United States today. The founders understood that we should not be entangled in European wars. Understand, European wars are between cousins. Understand that. The French, the British, the Belgians, the Russians even, the Germans, dude, they are all related by intermarriage of cousins, brothers, and sisters. It is no war that they have concerns us. The only concern we should have is being their arsenal, selling weapons to both sides, making a fucking killing off of it, literally, financially, and figuratively, and letting them know, don't fuck with us. That should be the extent of our involvement in their wars. Do I give a about Ukraine, the Ukraine? No, I do not. If anything, we should be selling weapons to both the Ukrainians and the Russians. You think I'm fucking with you? I'm not. Let me say it again. We should be selling weapons to both the Ukrainians and the Russians openly, and letting them know, hey, whichever one of you motherfuckers win, we got your back. But America ain't smart enough to do that. We always back to, how do I say this? The side of the fight that is usually the most evil of the two. It's always a choice of the lesser of two or three evils, and America always picks the worst of the evils. Peace and deuces.